Hello there, YouTubers. It's the 27th of January, year 2025 AC, both at Australian Eastern Daylight Time / Sydney time and local Peking or Beijing time. At least it seems to me that I don't really tend to go live or film a live stream in the morning at local time. Since I tend to get rather lazy and also mainly my previous circadian rhythm didn't usually grant me or bestow upon me that's much of spare time nor energy to go live, to film a live stream on YouTube that often. And yes, on the other hand, I don't really, since my channel still hasn't grown, significantly well, in terms of views and number of subscribers. I don't tend to prioritize, say filming a live stream on YouTube onto my usual daily workflow. But recently, in the most recent couple of days, I do, I do still notice. I do have noticed, a slight growth in terms of number of subscribers and views. And yes, which I believe, several days ago, or I should say, a couple of weeks ago, I suppose my channel just reached a milestone of having gained 100K views in total. So yeah, so maybe that's something, but not exactly, something to boast about or take pride in. But nevertheless, the main point of this live stream is that I want you guys and myself to take pride in the fact that we have made this far in life, despite the odds, despite all the hardships, temptations, persecutions, and challenges, that all seem so stacked up against us. And yeah, it pretty much all feels like a dream that, just about about two weeks ago, yes, I this flat experienced a major power outage. Well, partially due to my own stupidity and maybe a bit of too much enthusiasm to attempt, to replace and fix, a light globe. I don't know if you guys, from who come from America, say globe or bulb. Yes, I suppose you guys tend to say bulbs instead of globes. But yeah, but in any regards, yes. Um, yes, on the fifth. Yes, on the 5th of this month, which was on s- a couple of days, a couple of weeks ago, Wednesday. I kind of felt like I kind of sensed a major surge, a major boost in terms of my morale and probably also a bit of an ego. You know, well, as a result of numerous attempts and efforts I put in self improvement previously. You know, I cleaned the flat. Well, mainly the living room a little bit. Not exactly a thorough or a thorough cleaning, but I did swept the floor and wiped my main desk for work and daily tasks with my laptop computer. And then yeah, yes, and then decided to replace the bulb, the light globe, um hanging on the ceiling. Well, not exactly hanging on the ceiling, but embedded. One of the globes embedded on the ceiling in the living room, and somehow it might have triggered a sort of a preventive or protective mechanism. Probably by having the fuses burned, or maybe also the socket that was fixated above the globe. Yes, I did smell you know some some smoke and fire, though not not exactly a noticeable fire or flame, but yes, I did notice some signs of burns and smokes and ashes, and yes, afterwards. So yeah, and yes, then all of a sudden, my yes, one of my laptops, which was the which is the main laptop that I most usually work on and work with, got switched off, and apparently the charges, the all the charge in the battery, all got discharged without the faintest trace, and I couldn't switch um, my main laptop back on, and then got yeah and then it got um, the electricity, all signs of electricity within this flat vanished. And then I kind of panicked a little bit, though after realizing that panicking would serve no use at all, I just kind of remained stoic. until a couple until about a day and a half later I started to panic a bit more, and yeah, and attempted to fix attempted to take the matters to my own hands, by you know disassembling the switchboard, and then and found no visible or apparent faults whatsoever. No, no signs of wears or tears, or this this connections, of the wires, of all the wires and cables lying, and lying there, and the crawling there, and then I went downstairs and checked the meters, you know something like a rank of fair, you know electricity fares indicators, and then yes, and since it was roughly about um 6 or 7 p.m. at local time, and it was it has gotten quite dark, so I couldn't identify the issue, and then I had to kind of suffer in the dark for another night and day, you know and I couldn't order take away food either, since without e- electricity there was no internet either, and I don't really have a cell phone that has um internet functionalities without having to cost a great deal of money. So, um, and on the third day of since the major power outage, I ran back and forth, from one side of the flat to another, and then I decided, to yeah, to pay my adopted siblings a visit, to kind of borrow a bit of electricity and shit, and as a result, I packed some of my you know personal electronic devices, including my backpack, well, including a ThinkPad, and yeah. But then I knocked the door several times, but I received no answer. So in frustration, I came back. Um, yeah, and then for a time, I almost decided, to to go to a hotel nearby, which was the same, exactly the same spot where I kind of involuntarily began my state of exile slash homelessness back in year 2000, back in late 2019, not so long after when I came back from Japan. Um, Yes, and at that time, I still had my grandma, but unfortunately now, I am pretty much all alone. So yeah, for a moment, I almost decided, to go for, to to leave this place again in a state of semi homelessness and exile. But then, yes, then I decided then, to, head downstairs and check the fare meters or, ranks of, you know, fare meters and indicators and try my luck again. And then I saw a rank of levers below the fare meters. And, and somehow, yeah, and then, I quickly noticed, you know, a, a lever of one of those dozens of levers got pulled down, which yes, which yes, quite conveniently, quite conveniently, I beg your pardon. Um, corresponded to the flat number, to the room number, and then I put it back up, and then came back to my grandma's flat and see if and saw if it succeeded. Yes, and voila, yes, I got the electricity back. And then yes, one of my uncles, yes, came. You know, well, I won't say that he was in shock or whatnot, but yes, I was kind of I kind of took pride in managing in succeeding in managing to have restored power completely on my own. But yeah, but then yeah, and yes, but yes, I left, yes, the switchboard disassembled. So yes, so I helped him, reassembled, the outer castings, the metallic shell, back to its original place. So I held, the screws, the case, while he placed the screws back to their original place. And that was pretty much, the whole story. The whole whereabouts on what happened. During the first several days of my absence from YouTube. In the previous several weeks. Yeah. But yeah, unfortunately, I still have a lot to continue working on, including but are not limited, to my OCDs and anxiety, though my depression kind of subsided quite significantly somehow. Maybe, yes, I can, maybe owing largely to my somewhat persistent, though sometimes quite intermittent workout by doing at least 90 or 100 push-ups per day. Hey there, welcome to my live stream and welcome to my channel. It blew the main electricity breaker switch. Good to see you, Francis. Yeah, good to see you too, D-Man. Welcome back. One day at a time, brother. Yeah, I am. That's precisely what I'm trying to do. That's precisely what I'm trying to accomplish. Despite the odds. Arigato. Oh. But yes, the main. I beg your pardon. Yes, but the moral of the story is you are stronger than than you think. Though I'm not necessarily saying that you should go and fight bulls or a polar bear just just for the sole sake of um, demonstrating your muscular physique or you know pinnacle of masculinity. But yes, but the moral, like I said, you can take a lot more than you dare to imagine before you crack. Yeah. But yeah, on the other hand, beg your pardon. On the other hand, yes, unfortunately, I noticed a significant increase in terms of the frequency of which that wicked woman pays me visits to terrorize and coerce me. It used to be something like once or twice per month, at least last year, at least since you know year 2022, shortly after my grandma's passing. She usually um she usually tended to come and harass me just about once or twice per month. But yes, since last year, what was my grandma life? Was she cool? What do you mean? I don't quite follow. But yeah, so I suspect that wicked woman might have got into some more troubles herself. So she wants. So apparently, she wants to drag me into her, her deep holes of troubles. And that's precisely, why I I am not going to forgive her. Since my she allegedly, I suspect she murdered my old man, and also indirectly she caused the premature death of my grandma. You know, um, I won't bore you guys with the details and the full story, since I do not want to drag this live stream for a lot longer than an hour and a half. Um, but um, but yeah, it was brutal and terrifying, to say the least. Um, so yeah, but nevertheless, I try my utmost best, to forget the fact that she exists. You know, when I say she, that refers to that wicked woman who never stops persecuting me. Yes. Um. So yeah. Just imagine. Imagine you. Someone was trying to pull you down off a cliff. Um. And to take him or her along with you to their deaths. Will you go along? Will you comply? No. That's I believe most people in their right minds will never do that. You know, it's it's pretty much it's about the question of life and death. It's okay, man. I lost both my parents in 3 years. It's been hard, but I do what I can and think of good times. Someday I'll see them again. Well, I don't particularly look forward to seeing my deceased loved ones again. Like I said, after I kick my bucket, I prayed and I pray and hope for complete non-existence. Well, despite the fact that I consider myself a Christian, I do not want the trouble in heaven or in hell, or nor in this life whatsoever. I just want peace. You know, peace, peace in the void, in nothingness, in a state of complete and utter non-existence. Yeah. So yes, some of you guys might wonder, um, if you don't forgive those who trespass against you, then you may end up in hell. Well, no, since it takes a great deal of hard work, sweat, blood to to just come to a forgiveness after the perpetrator has done so much to harm and break you. It's no, evidently salvation has nothing to do with whether you forgive or not the person or persons who have done a great deal of harm or damage to you. My family was okay, good times. I was a bastard to them a lot. Forgive and forget. Yes, though, like I said, I don't think I will ever forgive her, but I will try to forget, to kind of, you know, gaslight myself by pretending it by pretending the whole thing, the whole tragedy never existed in the first place, and nor the participants, including both the perpetrator or perpetrators and the victims. You know, yes, you may call it, a a nihilist approach. Yeah, kind of. Yes, I do consider it kind of a nihilist approach. Yeah. Of course, yes, definitely. It's certainly holds you back. Trauma definitely holds people back. But unfortunately, due to my current circumstances, I just, find it extremely hard to, to make a switch to my current living environment by departing from this place to another, say to another um country. Yes, since like I said in my previous videos, I got canceled by Japan for the second time. So maybe I have PTSD from a childhood accident, and someday I know so good. But man, my good was so much more than bad. Kudos, good for you. In that case, I wish you all the best, and may the good memories and fondness of your most beautiful and enjoyable memories continue to live on throughout the rest of your life, and there are after, if there is an afterlife. But yeah, sadly, yes, life is just not so worth it. It's so overrated. So in case you happen to be a would-be parent or parents, you know take do take some time to to weigh both the negatives and the positives slash the benefits and risks associated with reproducing, with having offsprings. You know, it is almost guaranteed that your child or your future children will sooner or later hate you for for giving birth to him or her or them at some point in their lives. At least for one instance or two or even more. And to make the matters worse, you are essentially, by creating a life, by reproducing, you are essentially sending your children to their deaths inevitably. No matter how long or how happily or how much they enjoy their lives. It's just an the eventuality is you are essentially sending your children to their deaths. to their graves. And not to mention, the fact that they will have to, you know most likely they will have to, submit themselves, to this gigantic meat grinder, you know while most commonly we refer to it as the matrix, or the system, or the the day-to-day norm of working a 9 to 5 job, or so on and so forth, whatnot. It's not it's not something necessary to do, though you can choose to do it. But you know however, don't claim that you have children because you love them. No, you don't. You just want someone to. You just I either want someone to obey your instructions, your to follow your orders. And I traveled the U.S. and Canada a lot in my 20s as a cameraman for local events with newspapers, and I miss having the energy I had. I am much older now. Yeah, time flies. Yeah, before you before you before you know it, it can be already a year or two elapsed within a blink of the eyes. Yeah, it's kind of funny that time can elapse so quickly, so fast, even when even during your most miserable and excruciating afflictions and sufferings. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, but like I said, however, even if you do happen to be a parent or parents, and you dare to admit to the fact that you had children, for selfish reasons, or just because you followed, you know, the crowds, the normies, the herd mentality, then I can still kind of respect you as people, as human beings, But the people I hate almost as much as I hate that wicked woman is, are hypocrites. Yeah. Time slipping away, new dreams form every day. Suddenly, these dreams are behind you, ever, ever falling like rain, changing again and again. I was very much a go with tech flow type guy. I can say the same to myself, since I followed, I tried to follow the so-called conventional way or pattern of life, by going to university, by by attempting to to accomplish, to finish a major in tech, in chemical engineering at the University of Sydney, and look at how that turned out. Take a good look at where it took me, back to square one, ground, not exactly ground zero, since I am not back. I am not exactly back to where I was born, but I am, I certainly, came back to where, you know, all the dreams or the fantasies began in the first place. So it's pretty much like back to square one. Yeah. Well, at least, the way I see it, as far as I can perceive and tell, yes, I am pretty much back to square one. With a, I won't say, filled with regrets, but it's certainly, I certainly do get the feeling of you know misery and affliction and disappointments and frustrations with life from time to time. I but I do not really regret that I chose to to go to a university, and particularly to one of the most expensive, one of the most you know hardest and most difficult y- y- university to graduate from in Australia. you know yeah, since I did what I knew was best for myself back then. um some people succeed without ballot, true, and some people have many struggles. Sadly, we're still in hell waiting for our graves. can't can't disagree with that. Yeah. The straight and narrow, the straight and narrow didn't work for me. I tried very hard. Same, likewise. But yeah, I just don't know what else to do other than kind of mindlessly doing some side hustles, some side projects, and some freelancing work. Since I don't really want to attach myself, to the meat grinder of a 9 to 5 job. I went to college of art, but didn't want to do it for a living. You can deal with the best you can do. That's precisely what I'm doing. Um, yeah, but Jesus Christ. So yeah, I might just in the next, I suppose, I imagine after the Chinese New Year holiday, I might head to Shanghai to apply for a Schengen visa to Europe, say namely to the Netherlands and Belgium and Switzerland, possibly also Malta and Greece, maybe also Bulgaria. See if I can get a visa, a business visa in Europe in the Schengen zone or in the Schengen area, and find some opportunities there, to close more deals and earn some more money, and see if I can change my life for the better there. But the things are still up in the air. I'm like I said, I might or might not go there, since it's not entirely up to me whether I manage to obtain a visa to to Schengen, to the Netherlands and Switzerland and Belgium, etc. Since my current nationality places a lot of restrictions on where I can go and where I can live and where I can work in order to make a decent living. I'm going to take Netherlands in a few years. I think the pressure of doing tech 9 to 5 was far too hard on me mentally. Some people love it and can't go without working. When they retire, they can't find things to do. Yep. It's after say you hit your late 20s and early 30s. You kind of begin to question the underlying or underpinning meaning of literally everything you do in life. You kind of tend to become more skeptical of of the world, of people, of other people, and even yourself. Maybe it also has a lot to do with my own status quo, my own circumstance, namely my looming OCD symptoms. But I can't really judge and say for certain that you guys may be experiencing or suffering from similar symptoms or struggles. But yeah, like I said in one of my previous videos, which I filmed with my archaic iPad, OCD, it can penetrate and permeate into pretty much every aspect of your life, and it certainly seems so, in me, in myself, as we speak. I just nowadays, I begin to question, to second guess myself in pretty much everything I do. Not just not just people wise or money wise, but also you know trivial things like I recently just constantly keep double checking whether I properly close the door of my fridge or the doors of the flat. Each time I pick up my takeaway food, and I just and sometimes, no, I should say, more often than not, I just you know um shit. Oh, Christ. It's just the OCD. It makes you involuntarily gaslight yourself into believing that you have not done, or you are not doing enough as a growing man. It just it's freaking driving me nuts. And yesterday, as a matter of preemptive measure and precaution, I took yes, another dose of SSRI, slash serotonin, s- slash selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor, donated from one of my viewers, all the way from Great Britain. Yes, but it did not quite it failed to significantly mitigate or assuage the symptom, the OCD symptom. But and weeks before, I kind of took a bit of chance by taking this mitrazapine, just one one of these, to see if it can mitigate my OCD, but it didn't, and it caused some side effects, though not so severe, but it caused me to it caused the muscles throughout my entire body to relax, and it made me super duper sleepy, and it decreased my alertness to my surroundings. So yeah, though I'm not saying you mustn't take might mirtazapine in case of severe depression or anxiety, or you know but yes, you can still, a bit of fair disclaimer here. I am not offering medical advice or recommendations here, since I do not hold any qualification in the related field, as nor am I a qualified um, medical practitioner, or a doctor, or a general practitioner. But you know in the event that your anxiety gets so severe that you fear you may lose your sanity, you may want to take just one of these. Just take one dose or half dose to for the sake of temporary relief, but wherever and whenever um wherever and whenever possible, you should still seek professional help, professional medical help, and advice from a qualified and certified medical practitioner. Though I currently do not have a proper access to one. Yeah, but yeah, like I said, the lesson I've learned from from kind of um, experimenting with this me, my no no mirtazapine mirtazapine is that it can you use it with extreme caution as a temporary relief to your severe anxiety, but not necessarily OCD. Yes, and yes, you might also use it with extreme caution as a temporary relief to your severe depression as well. Though, for those who are already severely, for those who have not yet reached the point of severe depression, then I do not really recommend it. You know, I highly suggest that you seek medications or medicines that have that have milder or more moderate side effects than this. Yeah, but other than that, yeah, just wherever and whenever possible or feasible, just seek professional medical advice and assistance. Put a checklist by the door of kitchen. Put a checklist by the door of kitchen so you can remind yourself. Yea, all medicines have side effects, some more than the others. Yes, but unfortunately, you know, on as a bit of silver lining, it did not cause me to have a heart attack or a stroke or problems with my kidneys or liver. No, it just made me extremely sleepy and yes, and but the upside was that it forcefully helped me reset my already broken and eroded circadian rhythm back then, several weeks ago. So yes, for that I am kind of grateful, you know. But yes, but long story short, I will, wherever possible, I will only ingest such medication, namely met, metra metazapine as the last resort. You know, once I run complete, once my stocks of antidepressant, say selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor stock completely runs dry. Yeah, but we'll see. That only, I say, I may still have a year tops before I run out of proper antidepressants. That's why I have been taking them extremely sparingly. Yeah, but yeah, and that's also one of the reasons why must sooner or later you know um begin my exodus slash adventure out of my grandma's flat, out of China. You know, not just to do business, to have a bit of a mental reset, and also plus a bit of a sightseeing, but also for health reasons. I need to find the appropriate the appropriate medications that can better treat my existing symptoms of OCDs and anxiety, and last but not least, severe depression. Though yes, though unfortunately, I've kept largely my severe depression at bay in the past several months. I haven't had a severe depression episode for nearly maybe consecutively yeah 3 to 4 months. Yeah, but I don't know exactly how long I can keep it up. You know, especially with my current circumstance, especially with my current precarious circumstance. You know, what are tech limits of China visa? I don't really know much about it, but based on my current knowledge pertaining to pertaining to visas, issued to foreigners wishing to work in China mid to long term, you may apply for say a type D or type H visa, via a Chinese embassy or consulate general in your home country or state. You have to do a Google search, or consult with Chat GPT or with a qualified professional. But yes, there are good places in China. Though I don't really recommend that you come to the northern part. Wherever possible, go for the southern part, say Guangzhou or Shanghai or Hong Kong, maybe also Yunnan province, in the south, and in the western south, in the south, in the southwestern part of China, you will get to enjoy a much lower cost of living overall. You won't have to um it won't cost you an arm and a leg or an exorbitant amount of money by dwelling in first tier cities like Shanghai, Peking, Shenzhen, or blah blah blah. I don't really recommend that you do well in first tier cities, since it can you can it can place a great deal of stress and strain on yourself. But every person's circumstance varies. I can't really gen- generalize, so it's up to you. It's up to you to decide where to go, or where you plan to go, where you plan to work, where to plan to work, where you plan to go for the sake of working and making a living out of it. Yes, but yes, the limits. Yeah, maybe it can last 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, maybe, or also 5 years, depending on your not nominated or occupation you apply for. You know, but I really don't know much about it, so I highly recommend that you consult with a qualified professional or several qualified professionals to find out and make the informed decision thereof. Hello there, arbitrary Mr. Arbitrary. Do you would you mind if I address you as such? Yeah, but yeah, nevertheless, welcome to the live stream and welcome to my channel again. Yeah, acknowledged. So yeah. So how are you holding up? How often do you how often do you lie in your bed playing with your iPad or your mobile device, say smartphone, and scroll around, or derp around on YouTube or Twitter or whatever sorts of social media aimlessly as an as a main way of escaping the real world or the tangible part of the matrix. I'm getting by. I'm neat. I mostly get on my PC. Yeah, yeah. In that, with that, we do happen to share in common. Yes, I do. Wherever possible, I do most often work with my PC as well. Though yes, sometimes yes, I kind of my presence kind of oscillates between my main PC and my secondary PC and my iPad. I try to avoid using my smartphone as much as I can. Well, except when I have to make calls. Well, in particular, when I have to make some cold calls, as part of my job, and yeah, and when I have to, use some mobile phone apps, to make some online purchases, say from Taobao. Um, I read and mostly listen to music. Why you have two PCs? Well, I there were some old PCs that I didn't really, you know, um, throw away or a gig or a giveaway. And I consider myself a somewhat, you know nostalgic or kind of sentimental dude. So I still have a rather archaic ThinkPad that runs Windows XP, and occasionally I use it, to connect to my printer to print out some shite, to print out some files, for some applications, namely some applications for certain types of visa that have to be made in writings on paper. You know, namely, a visa to Japan usually will necessitate you to it will usually, at least, for a Chinese dude, it will necessitate and a paper application instead of electronic visa. But yes, there are certain visas, yes, I can apply for easily, and there are certain countries and regions, to which I don't really need a visa, you know as long as it's for short-term business or tourism purposes. Yes, namely, say Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, and Georgia, Armenia, and yes, blah blah blah. But yeah, not exactly. I haven't been playing StarCraft 2 for quite some time. Yes, for nearly a year, since I don't really have a lot of time recently, and I don't really have a lot of I don't have that much of surplus energy to spare on games as intense and as exhilarating as StarCraft 2. It will require you to use and consume a lot of your brain processing power. And judging and considering my current mental health status, I don't really feel like playing StarCraft 2. But I will see when I can find some spare time to play it, to but no promises on StarCraft 2. Since I have a lot more pressing issues to worry about, to tackle, before I can make such a promise that I might return to playing StarCraft 2 anytime soon. No, not that yet. But yes, I will try. I'll see if I can get that back on track. But no promises so far on StarCraft 2. Um, if you don't mind me asking how you make income online. Mostly, yes, mostly content creation, code calls. Yes, well, for example, as you can see, I film videos, I film and upload videos to YouTube, and most recently, I have begun to 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 commit myself more frequently, to making more live streams on YouTube, since it gives you and me the both you and me the opportunity to kind of interact with one another in real time, though not necessarily face to face. But that's the closest um, simulation or um, analog sort of activity I can think of and I can access. You know, without having to meet face to face. Though I'm not saying that I don't want to meet you guys face to face. Someday, in say in Great Britain or in America or in other parts of planet Earth. But like I said, my current circumstance prevents me, from or largely hinders me from so doing. Though yes, I try my best to, I'm still seeking and creating, and I'm striving to create the opportunity, to get the hell out of Dodge from here, so that I can meet and interact with you, some of you guys out there face to face, if God willing. But yeah, the situation is it doesn't seem so promising, to say the least. Yes, and the other way, yes, I make income online is via a Patreon page. Yes, I have a Patreon page. Where I share and house some of the content that I kind of sell for for a bit of a at a bit of a price, and certain you know sort of information that I um consider somewhat privileged and restricted, even confidential, to share publicly on YouTube. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I do for a living. Yes, well, you can say that I am a business, information analyst, or you can also say that I make a living as a information broker and a telemarketer. Yes, or yes, or you may also call me a digital nomad or a solopreneur or a solo entrepreneur. Yes, though I do, from time to time hire some other freelancers, to perform certain types of tasks that I find either too tedious or too technical to do myself. So yeah. So yeah, I suppose yeah, that's pretty much all I can spit out from my twisted and chaotic mind so far during this live stream. So yeah, in case you have any more questions, feel free to post it below this video in the comment section, or you can feel free to drop me a message on Discord. Though I may not necessarily reply to them so promptly, but yes, I will do my best to reply to individual replies or comments on YouTube on my channel. So yeah, Thank you very much for tuning in and watching and being with me to the end of this filming session. So yeah, if God's still willing, yes, I have some, I need to get some takeaway food for lunch. I need to figure out what to eat for lunch since I've been pretty much fasting, for a couple, for for nearly a day. So it was good to hear from you. I am a lurker, but I try to comment and communicate more these days. Yeah, sure. Be my guest. Yes, I'll try to stay in touch. No, though I offer no 100% guarantee that I will remain here all the time. As you guys know, as some of you guys well know my circumstance and status quo. I may just kick my bucket at any unspecified or given moment. But yes, like I said, I do everything I can to hold on while I work my while I work between my angles to find a way out. So yeah, thank you again for tuning in and watching. And yeah, go take care of business. Stay safe and yeah, go take care of business. If God's still willing, see you around on YouTube. Bye. Take care. Cheers.